Hi, friends, and happy Valentine's Day. Listen, my husband just jumped in the shower, and so I only have a few minutes to make this video. Ooh, my nose is so red. I've been outside. A lot happened in court today. Honey, all the teacups all over South Carolina are empty. There is no sweet tea left. You want to know why? Because Maggie's sister got on that stand and spilled all of the tea. If you have not watched any other days in this trial, today is the day that you want to watch. And basically, you would just fast forward through everybody and get to Maggie's sister, get you a giant tub of movie popcorn, and just make that your date for Thanksgiving, not for Thanksgiving, for Valentine's Day tonight, because her testimony is so good. But before I get to her, I have to tell you a little bit about Dale with the dogs. Now listen, Mr. Dale took care of the dogs, and he was country as an ear of corn. Honey, he got up there, and I don't remember his middle name, but he's one of these country dudes that goes by his first, middle, and last name. I kind of love that. And he was like, "How you doing?" I'm good. He was good people. I want to hang out with Mr. Dale. If I drank beer, I would have a beer with him. If Maggie's sister had not spilled all the sweet tea, I would want to have some sweet tea with him because he was hilarious. But here's the thing. Everybody who worked out at Moselle took pride in their work. Mr. Dale took care of the dogs. He was there twice a day. He watered the dogs. He fed the dogs. He talked to the dogs. He cleaned up. He did everything. And he put the hose back in a very particular way. So when he came there after the murders, he was like, that's not how I put the hose back. And Mr. Dale, like myself, is an early riser. He wrapped up his evenings early. So when the prosecution asked him what time he went to bed, he did not know. He does not have a bedtime. But he said, I can tell you my routine. Apparently around 4:30, 5 o'clock, Mr. Dale takes a shower and goes and sits in his recliner. And that is it for him for the rest of the night. Mr. Dale, is it a camo lazy boy? Somewhere deep in my spirit, I know Mr. Dale is sleeping in a camo lazy boy. Lord, he was country, and Lord, I loved every single moment of it. So, Mr. Dale was on the stand. Please watch his testimony. But first, you have to watch Maggie's sister's testimony. Listen, I took notes. She was so good. First of all, we've been wondering, where has Maggie's family been through all of this? And do they think Alec is innocent? Let me answer that question for you in one word, and that word is no. They think Alec did it. Now, she didn't say that directly, but she said everything. She did everything but say it. Listen, if something happens to me, if I over here stumble and stub my toe, my sister's going to know all the tea. She's going to know who usually leaves the toys in the floor. That would be these dogs. She's going to know who, when, what, where, why, and what for. Your sister knows everything, right? My sister knows everything. And girls, and Maggie's sister knew everything. So after the murders happened, Alex was like, I have to call her parents. You know what he didn't do? Call Maggie's parents. He never called Maggie's parents. He called his brother, let his brother call Maggie's sister. Maggie's sister drove to Maggie's parents' house and told them. They were, of course, heartbroken and all torn up about the situation. And so all the sister wanted to know is, who did this terrible thing? Who killed my sister? I think we should just find out who killed my sister. So she didn't ask Alex a lot about the murder. In the days after the murder, this is what she did ask. She went up to him and all the crying and snotting and whatever. And she said, did Maggie suffer? And she said, did Maggie suffer? And I want to know who killed my sister, who did this terrible thing. Here comes Alec. No, she didn't suffer. Then the sister was like, I've come to believe that that's probably not true. Oh, well, I believe that is not true too. And then Alex opened his full mouth and said, you know, whoever did this, I think they were thinking about it for a long time. Well, Mr. Murdaugh, I believe you are correct on that account. So wait, Maggie's sister said her number one goal was to find out who killed her sister. Alex said his number one goal was to clear Paul's name. Oh, AKA make the boat case go away. Did Mr. Murdaugh just tell on himself right there? And so the sister was like, I can't figure out why his number one goal was not to figure out who did this terrible thing. And also, the sister had the same question I had. weren't you afraid? If there's some homicidal maniac out here targeting your family, but you just walk, she said, oh, Alec wasn't afraid. He wasn't worried for Buster. He wasn't afraid of anything. They were afraid to be at Moselle. They were afraid for the family. They were afraid for everybody. But Alec is just out here in these streets doing whatever, doing his regular thing. And the sister was like, something about this is not right. She thought that the family should have hired protection or that they needed protection. This is perfectly logical. And so she said, Alec's big thing was that he wanted to clear Paul's name and he just wanted Buster back in law school. Bruh, priorities. Your wife and child are dead, and you want to make the boat case go away and get your son back in law school? To me, that speaks to your ego. I heard somebody say the other day that Alec might not be a straight up psychopath or sociopath, that he was Machiavellian, and that is that he wanted all the power. All the power? All the power. You know what was going to give him the power? Having a lot of money and being able to control the situation. And I think he thought he could control this situation, but he could not. He never mentioned a killer. Never mentioned a killer. So on cross-examination, here comes Jim Griffin. Well, don't you think that one of Alec's motives was to find out who the murders was? Uh-oh. The sister answered the question and messed Jim all the way up. She said, well, I thought one of his motivations was to find the killer until September, all the things that happened in September. Well, now the door is open for the September roadside shooting. Creighton Waters and the prosecution had not had a means to get that information in, and then Alec's attorneys accidentally opened the door to the discussion about the September killings. Oh, everybody was up in arms. So when the prosecution got back up, they said, oh, well, what changed for you in September? Sis broke it all the way down. Well, she said, I heard that Alec had been shot and I was devastated. I thought, oh, the real killer is back again. So I called Buster, and Buster was like, oh, nah, he's going to be fine. So the sister said, so then I called Alec's attorney, Jim Griffin, AKA the dude that was just cross-examining me. And Mr. Griffin said, now here come Mr. Griffin jumping up in court. Objection, Your Honor, hearsay. Dude. You're objecting to the hearsay that you said? So the judge is like, so you gonna get up and be a witness? Like, what are we doing right now? They sent the jury out. They had a little conversation about it. And ultimately, it was decided that the sister could testify to what she knew about the roadside shooting. And then she got up there and broke it down about Alec shooting himself, Alec faking suicide, Alec stealing money. All of it came in, and all of it is out of Alec's control. You know what else got brought up? Alec's drug use. Oh yeah, Maggie knew about his drug use, and they referred to Paul as like the little detective. Alec said that before, trying to like imply that Paul was just intuitive. Turns out he got the name Little Detective because he could find all Daddy's pills. Oh, now we just out here talking about Daddy's pills. So everybody's saying like, oh, they were the happiest family ever. Right. Daddy was most happy when he was taking his pills. And the sister talked about Alec's affair. Listen, I could not have leaned in more. Yes, Alec had an affair. Maggie knew about it. It was 15 years ago, but she had not let it go. She was still talking about it. And Alec was still like, da 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 da. Everything is fine at our house. Because Maggie mentioned that affair as recently as a year ago. So that sort of lays the groundwork of why he couldn't show up and be like, oh yeah, no, babe, we're going to do this and this and this. Blanca said that Alec was withholding the truth on a lot of things. And it turns out, indeed, he was. She knew her husband was doing something crazy with money. Apparently, Maggie was not organized when it came to finances. She's not a balance your checkbook kind of girl. Neither am I. But she didn't know what was going on with the money. She felt like Alec was lying to her because she was shunned after the boat case. She wanted to move away. So she went and found herself a nice house in Hilton Head and was showing her family and was telling everybody about the house. And Alec was like, yeah, boo, we can't, the move in, that's a no-go. That's not going to happen. So Maggie was all sad and upset. Well, I guess he was like, she's not going to have to worry about that long because now I'm thinking about killing the heifer. And so he did. Ultimately, the sister spent the entire afternoon on the stand. You must go watch it. Then her husband got up. He didn't say much. He basically was like, yeah, that's Alex on the Snapchat video. And then they got into something else. I don't even know what. But after the jury was gone, the question of Cousin Eddie came up. Will Cousin Eddie testify or won't Cousin Eddie testify? Now, the defense is saying, oh, they can hardly wait for Cousin Eddie to testify. And apparently, the judge has not been following this case. Judge Newman, where have you been? I have been all over, but don't worry, boo. If you watch my channel, I can fill you all in. But now the judge, he wants to hear from Cousin Eddie. Well, as we wrap up this case, I want to hear from Cousin Eddie too. Creighton Waters and the prosecution is supposed to wrap up their case tomorrow, but there's been some unfortunate delay or whatever. So it looks like the case is not going to be wrapped up tomorrow, but coming soon to a TV near you, Cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie, the drug dealer, Cousin Eddie, the would-be assassin, Cousin Eddie, the narcotics enthusiast, Cousin Eddie, the homeless-looking mess. Honey, I'm telling you, when they call Cousin Eddie to the stand, I'm going to immediately take a sick day. If it's 8 o'clock in the morning, if it's 4:30 in the afternoon, I'm going to need the rest of the day off to deeply, deeply examine Cousin Eddie. It is Valentine's Day. I'm going to go make a nice heart-shaped dinner for my family and snuggle up with Maggie's sister's testimony. My husband does not know that's what our date's going to be. He about to find out. Now, you go and have a good Valentine's Day, and I'll see you later. Bye.